Oh my goodness. Everything's going crazy here. But you know what? I'm doing this anyway. And maybe you will come along on the journey with me. So I'm doing it. I'm finally doing it. I am starting this channel. I have a goal of consistently posting video. I definitely want to be consistent and do at least 1 to 2 videos a week. That's for sure. I do not want to go a week without posting them. And this is so exciting to do this today. It is February 5th, and 5 is the number of grace. And that is one of the main themes of my channel. I want to focus on the grace of God and how His wisdom has been such a driving force in my life, where I've done a lot of different things. And now I'm making the shift in my life. And I'm a little nervous, but I'm more excited than I am nervous. And that's how I like to look at life. I don't want to be afraid of the unknown. Instead, I just want to look at the unknown as an adventure I'm about to go on. Okay. So, a little bit about me. I am soon to be 46. Like I said, this is the 5th. My birthday's in a couple of weeks, exactly 2 weeks from now. Now that I think about it. And I've done a lot of things. I have gone from starting my very first business at 12 years old to once I graduated high school and I was officially an adult, I got straight into entrepreneurship, and I haven't looked back since. I don't I'm not that person. I'm not that person that is employable. I'm just not. I don't like people telling me what to do. I like to be able to think for myself, make decisions for myself. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with a person being an employee. I'm just saying, when I thought about employee life, those were some of the first things that came to mind for me, and how I know I would be if I felt like that, if I felt closed in, if I felt like I was hindered and I couldn't pour my creativity into something or do what I want or have variety from day to day and week to week in what I did to earn a living. So I got started in cosmetology. And got my license. Whew, that was a crazy roller coaster ride in and of itself. But it was exciting because once I was able to, you know, go to school, I locked in, I finished a 2 year program in 6.5 months. And then I was ready to hit the ground running. I had a job lined up. Well, I shouldn't say a job, because typically you're either an independent contractor, um, or you actually start owning your own salon from. That's typically the thing. There are cosmetologists that are employees of salons, but I was never that. I was rarely that. I should say that. And when I didn't stay there long. I was there for a couple of months, and I was like, gotta go, because I needed to set my own hours and do what I wanted, how I wanted. So I went from owning my own salon I went from being a cosmetologist in other people's salon, learning and soaking in how they run their business, why they do things like this, or what are some contacts I need to make and some things I need to know. I went from that, right, gaining all the knowledge and wisdom that I could from that, to then owning my own salon, and I kept it small. A lot of people dream of having this big salon and spa. I've worked in big salons and spas, but I did not want that. I wanted something cozy but known. And so I had my own little suite. I had an employee, I had, an assistant, and I built up a really solid clientele. I saved up almost 6 figures, and then I felt like something's missing. I need more from somewhere, somehow, and I wasn't sure what that was going to be. So and the reason, let me start with that. The reason why I wanted that was because, at this point I had 2 kids, and they were going to school. And even though, yes, I volunteered at their school once a week and I was there for PTA meetings, at one of their schools, I was vice president of the PTA. I helped form the PTA because it was a new school. And even with all of that, I still felt like I want more time with my kids. I want to be able to live a life that is different. I didn't want that same old thing. I get up, go to work, they get up, go to school. We don't see each other till I get home from work, which is, they've been home for hours, had to do their homework and projects. And then I'm exhausted by the time I get home. We can't really do anything. And we don't get to eat dinner together and we don't get to spend time together. Like, I didn't want that. And at that point in my life, I was a single mom and I was just like, okay, wait, what now? What do I do? Because I have built up this name for myself, I've built up this reputation, I've built up this business, and now I'm saying I don't know if I want that anymore. And Chad, you already know that when I voiced these thoughts to some people, they were like, "You are crazy. You just want to suck it up. This is life. You just have to do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do." And I was like, "Mm-mm. No, I want to live a life of like a flow where things are peaceful and things are like I have that tranquility in my life and it feels right." And although cosmetology was right for me in its season, I felt like the season was coming to an end and it was time to do a whole new thing, a whole new adventure. And so I decided I was going to start working from home. And I didn't want to work from home in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to do hair out of my home. No, I didn't want a bunch of people coming all up in my house and I'm working on them all day. And I didn't want to be mobile and go to them and go to their house. I have done that on occasion, but I didn't want to make that the thing that I do. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to pick a whole new niche. What the heck is that going to be? And so I started, at the time, I didn't realize I was doing like a mix of affiliate marketing and network marketing. My first year was a flop. The almost six figures that I had in my savings, I used it all up, trying to build that business, not knowing what I didn't know, not realizing that things could be simple and not realizing that you really have to have a strong sense of clarity and structure with what you want to do. Otherwise, if you're online, you're going to be all over the place. So that was a lesson learned. And then finally, after I'd say by the time I reached my third year, I started to get a groove. Okay. So I've like I said, I've done a lot of things. So there's been maybe I should start this over. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going because I had to backtrack. So, but we're having a conversation, and this is what happens in conversations. So, I started off with that as a cosmetologist, and on the side, I carried on with what I had gotten started with in high school, which was modeling. Now, by the time I became an adult, so I was around 19. Um, I started doing more swimsuit modeling and boudoir modeling. And I did that all the way up until, I mean, on and off, all the way up until I was about 35. And that moment at 35, which is 11 years ago, I had decided it's time to make a shift. It's time to pivot. So I had pivoted from modeling. I had pivoted from not just being a cosmetologist, but also I did a lot of educating, platform artistry, and then I had my own salon. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot of these different things that I've done and different types of people that I've learned from. I even did some training at a car dealership for sales, and I learned a lot about that. I was the top seller for retail in any salon I ever worked in. So so I was always the one winning the prizes and stuff for when we had contests. So I thought, working online should be a piece of cake. I know how to sell. I know what to say. I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I'm comfortable in front of people. So why did I blow my savings? Why was I finding this to be a struggle? Why was I finding this to be difficult? And so I'd say around 2019, the end of 2018, going into 2019, I was starting to get a groove. I was really starting to get it. I was putting out content, you know, all over, but mainly on Facebook because I didn't want to do YouTube. consistently. I started with YouTube and I felt nervous. I felt like, oh, I got to do takes and I can't just be myself. But on Facebook, going live, I went live several times a day, every day. I created over 1,000 videos in like a year because of how often I was going live because I wanted to make that money. And I wasn't about making a quick buck or an get rich quick, but I knew that I wanted to see results fast. And I was like, this is interruption marketing. I'm in front of people like instantly, like, let's do that. And looking back on that now, I feel like that was somewhat of a mistake. Well, but honestly, like a lesson. So, and I'll get more into that in other videos as to why. But like I did that for a few years. I got popular, right? I was, nicknamed the queen of Facebook Lives, and I won awards for my marketing and for my leadership and things like that. I was working closely with this uh, education platform that was teaching people how to be entrepreneurs online, and so I got a lot of recognition there and a lot of popularity there as well. And then 2020 hit. So that was my journey from 2015 to about 2019. And then at the tail end of 2019 going into 2020, little did I know what was getting ready to happen, because I I went from, okay, I'm popular and I'm making some money, I can pay my bills, but I really wanted, like, I wanted to give God a challenge, right? He says, ask for big things. He says he will do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ever ask or think. So I was like, okay, let's have a look at this. I'm gonna trust you on this. And I said, I want to start making 5 figures a month, and I want to do it for 2020. And I remember having this conversation with God in November of 2019. And little did I know we were about to have a pandemic, child. We were about to have all kinds of chaos and craziness, child. I had no idea. And so I prayed for that in November. By December, I had a friend of mine come to me and say, hey, I want you to partner with me. Like, there's an opportunity here. And so I said, okay, cool. Let's do it. And so I didn't really like, I was studying and trying to learn the business in January. And I started to seriously work on it in February. I made about 500 bucks. And then in March, it was growing and I made about 2,900 bucks. And then in April, it was growing some more. And then I made like 4,300 bucks. And then in May, bam, 5 figures, over $10,000. And then I was like, let me make sure I'm going to be making it per month. And then so I waited till the next month and I had even more. And it just seemed to keep growing and growing. And I haven't looked back since. And I thought to myself, if God could do that for me, and don't get me wrong, that wasn't the first time God has shown up in my life. I got so many stories, child. You might as well go ahead and subscribe now, because I got a lot of stories, even aside from business and finances. That's what I'm mainly going to talk about on this channel. And honestly, just how I use God's word to help me, and to empower me to grow, um to build and to grow and to scale a rewarding, fun, fulfilling online business and a life. um Without me taking that step out on faith and doing what everybody else thought was crazy and walking away from cosmetology for good. Well, not completely away, because I still have an active license. I just don't use it. But I did walk away from it and start something totally different and new. I didn't really know much about marketing. I was a sales machine. I knew how to sell, but I needed the marketing factor too. I needed to understand the online space. I needed to understand the different niches that I had got myself involved in over time. And so that was kind of my thing. And when I finally got the hang of it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, from those first couple of years, I was looking around at all these people and how successful they were, and they were making five figures, and my little $10,000, they were making 20, 50, $80,000 a month. And I was like, I didn't even know you could do that. But now that I know, maybe I want to work towards that. I wasn't sure. But anyway, I've had some great accomplishments thanks to the grace of God. I've had um, a $25,000 day, and I closed for something that wasn't mine. I was an affiliate, and then I only got a percentage of that. But when I started selling stuff that was mine, like coaching and high ticket things, or even my low ticket stuff, I had a $15,000 day, and that was 100% mine to take home. These are things that I know for some folks, it's like, that would be cool if I could do that, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know if it can be done these days. The market's saturated. There's so many people already online, and a lot of people be lying, talking about they're gonna help you make $1,000 when they lights about to get cut off. So who do I trust? What am I supposed to do? And that's why I decided to get on here and seriously be on here for real and show up for not just for me, but for you. I'm gonna show you some stuff, but I'm gonna get into that in a minute. So I was really getting into that groove from the pandemic on. I feel like 2020 was my moment, and it was interesting because the theme for the year from my pastor was the fact that God is Lord over time and space. So you don't have to worry about how long is it going to take. You don't have to worry about, oh, do I have these credentials and this degree and all of that. You just trust him. You trust him. And I developed a relationship and experiences with the Lord that I had never felt before. And everything seemed to be in alignment. And then little did I know, I also met my husband. I didn't know he was going to be my husband. I didn't even know he was going to end up being my friend. It was somebody I was doing business with, and I had a strict rule. I was like, I ain't even going to be in nobody's face in that I do business with, and that's always really been my thing. Um, but by the end of 2020, uh, we went out for lunch, had such a great time that what was supposed to be an hour lunch turned into like a 6 hour conversation. And then when we actually went out on our first date, it was a 13-hour date, and nothing happened. Like, we didn't even touch, we didn't hold hands, we didn't hug, nothing like that. Um, it was a lot of learning each other and having conversations and just having this undeniable connection already, and then strengthening it over in a very small amount of time. A few days after we went on that date, we were dating, we were seeing each other exclusively, and then 4 months after that, we were married. So we're getting ready to celebrate our 5th year anniversary, 5 for the number of grace. Like I just said, I'm doing this video. This is the first video I'm putting up, even though I had planned to do a totally different topic. Right now, I just wanted us to get to know each other. Okay, so definitely share in the comments, like, what is your journey? What brought you to the point that you're now going to be on YouTube and or other social media too? What Give me your backstory. So yeah, I didn't know all of those things are getting ready to happen. And then I felt like we outgrew Maryland. We were just about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes outside of DC. Felt like we outgrew that area. I've lived in Maryland my whole life. Um, and then we left it behind, and we used the money that we were making online as the stepping stone to be able to now be where we are, which is in a big, beautiful home in Las Vegas, Nevada. And to be honest with you, I'm at another turning point in my life. I'm at a new fork in the road where we've decided to go down a path. I'm realizing that it's not just what state I'm in that I'm outgrowing. I'm starting to have these feelings that I am outgrowing this country. I'm like, y'all know what? Y'all do what you doing over here, okay? But I think I might go over there. I'm not like I'm not fully sure. There's been a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings and a lot of contemplation and a lot of prayer over what I'm going to do next. And I feel like at this point, God is letting me know this is the time. This is the time for you to be on YouTube and let's do this thing. I'm here with you, you know? And I had actually planned in 2024 to go live, not go live, to upload a video, have a video out on my YouTube channel every day. And I only did it for like 3 weeks. And then I stopped, and I had gotten a couple of views, and I had gotten a couple of comments, and even a couple of sales, even though my channel was never monetized. And that is definitely a plus that I've had with my experience on YouTube. I have attracted serious buyers, um, much easier, honestly, than all that work and energy and effort that I put in on Facebook. Don't get me wrong, I made good money and connected with good clients from there, but YouTube is where it's at for the long game. And I'm finally calmed down and being still enough to organize my thoughts and to actually develop this business in a way that is going to be stable and long term and just done with the wisdom of God. A lot of times I would pray about something, and I I would go do it and then be like, yeah, bless that, Lord. That was my decision. I want to do that. So now it's a little bit different because I'm like, oh, I'm going to really allow myself to be receptive to taking in what his guidance is, what is his wisdom, and go based on that instead of always doing my thing and then hoping for him to sprinkle a little blessing on it. So that's been the thing. And so for this channel, I'm going to show you some of the things that I've learned over time, because I've made no less than 5 figures a month from a variety of different things. Um, so I'm only really going to speak on the things that I've done with that. Um, it's been four major niches that I've focused on. So I'm gonna show you ways that you can grow your business online, but I'm gonna focus mainly on showing you how you can create your own offers and do your own thing. Now, I could be like what I already know and you know that you find on YouTube, where people are like talking about the what and then they sell the how. I'm actually going to give a lot of the how away to you for free right here in some of these videos. Okay. One of the most important things, though, truly is mindset. We're going to talk about that and how to have your mindset on the Lord, where this isn't going to be one of those, preachy channels. I'm not going to be sharing things with you. I'll put it like this. There are some people who will preach or teach or share things from biblical knowledge. And then there are people who will reveal things to you because of a revelation that they receive. And I feel like the experiences in my life and the successes that I've had have come from revelation. Okay. So that's really what I'd rather do. I'm not going to be sitting up here trying to impress you with, oh, look at this Bible verse I know. I want to show you how I applied the word of God and how you can apply that as well. That's my thing. That's what I want to do. And of course, showing you practical steps and tips for growing a business, making some actual money. And if I decide to have any offers, it's going to be more so on, now that what I'm showing you is working for you, you're starting to make some money. What's the next step? How do you actually start building wealth with that? What are some things that you want to focus on? So you have a choice. if you want to just strictly watch me here on YouTube and just gather up free information, that's fine. But if you are truly trying to build a legacy and build something super strong, and I just think for me as a Black woman, I am ready to regain our power. I'm ready to take that back. I'm ready to own my value. I'm ready to own um, the 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 work ethic that we have and the talent that we have and the blessings that we have, and I want to apply all of that to be able to have the life that God has promised me. And one of those verses that sticks out in my head so much is the fact that God gives you the power to create wealth. And that power can come from so many different um there's so many different ways that he gives you that, whether it's from the degree that he helped you earn, or in my case, like being able to get through a 2-year program in 6 months so that I can start taking care of my family, and taking care of my kids, those types of things. It's a gift that he's giving you, it's a talent that he's giving you, it's the ability to have the brain capacity to understand, regardless of what some other folks may have had to say about a Black woman's capacity for success. Okay, excuse you, but I'm really excited to do this with you. And like I said, start kicking it off on today, the 5th, number 5, number of grace. And I'm looking forward to what this is going to bring for all of us. So I just wanted to share those things with you. I don't think I left anything out. Let me just double check. Um, oh, yeah. So another reason why I consider this to be a pivot is because this is something where, like I said, I think we may be, and we meaning me and my family, may be outgrowing this space that we have called our home, that we were born into, which is this country in the United States. And there's being Black, you could probably relate. There's so many mixed feelings that you may have about the United States. Um, but this is a new chapter in my life where I know for sure that it's time to go and explore some different things and time to experience and exercise my global wealth. And so that is part of why I'm making this channel. And then another reason is just because I'm tired of seeing people charge you for stuff that they could just tell you right here on YouTube. Now, some things, yeah, you need a workshop for, or you need one-on-one for, or something like that. But generally speaking, if you're generally trying to get started with stuff, you could probably find free information. I'm going to do my best to give it to you in sequential order when I'm showing you things, or have a playlist for it or something where you could find it in the right order, as opposed to get a bunch of fragmented pieces of information and you don't know what to do with it. It will feel like having a bunch of different pieces of different jigsaw puzzles. So I'm going to try to give it to you where it's comprehensive. Um, but yeah, I know for me, it's a new chapter in life, and maybe it is for you too. And you're looking to, you just want a little bit of guidance, and you also want like some accountability. You want a partner, and you want somebody fun to do this with. Oh, I'm your girl. So this is going to be like super exciting. And some of the things that I mentioned in this video, I will have other videos going more in depth with it, like how, I met and married my husband in 4 months, thanks to having an online business and being diligent and just following the guidance and the prompting of the Holy Spirit and what that looks like. And I want to talk about, just really going deeper with the word. Um, but like I said, those are other videos that will be coming. So make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you're, watching some of the additional videos that you'll probably see towards the end of this one. And, yeah, that's it. Like I said, share with me like what's your backstory and what's your goal. Um, One of our goals for my husband and I is definitely to start traveling more and do some slow travel and look around and see, is there, another country that we may want to start calling home? um what other citizenships maybe we want to get. Like, I'm definitely going to talk to you about more than just, hey, here's how to make money online. Okay, it's going to be about, here's how to create a life, and a life more abundantly through your business. So we're going to talk about the real deal stuff. Okay, so get ready, put your seatbelts on, child. It's time to go on this ride with me, and I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much.